The world does not respect those who give everything away. Your whole life you were told that kindness is a virtue, that if you are open, agreeable, and available, the world will return the favor. That is a lie. In the brutal mathematics of human nature, availability creates followers, but scarcity creates believers. When you are always warm, always reachable, always smiling, you are not valued. You are treated like a resource, like running water, perhaps necessary, but completely forgotten until it stops flowing. There is a version of you that is tired of being the nice guy. Tired of the emotional drain that comes from managing everyone else's feelings while your own are ignored. You watch cold, detached, self-contained people get promoted, get obsessed over, get respected, and you wonder why. It is not because they are evil, it is because they have applied a primal psychological law that you have been ignoring. Machiavelli wrote that it is far safer to be feared than loved, but he was not talking about terror. He was talking about awe. He was talking about the power of a man who cannot easily be used. Today I am going to teach you the psychology of coldness. Not cruelty, not malice, but surgical detachment. We are going to eliminate the need for approval that keeps you enslaved to other people's opinions. We are going to install a new operating system built on the laws of power, stoicism, and biological value. By the end of this, you will understand why the person who cares least holds the most power, and you will know exactly how to become a glacier, slow, silent, and crushing everything in its path. But you have to be willing to kill the part of yourself that needs to be liked. Phase 1. The economy of attachment. Inflation. Think of your personality as a currency. What happens when a government prints too much money? Inflation. The value of the currency collapses. It becomes worthless paper. You could have a wheelbarrow full of it and not buy a single loaf of bread. Now look at your attention. Look at your approval. You are giving it away for free. You laugh at jokes that are not funny. You reply to messages instantly. You agree with opinions you secretly hate just to keep the peace. You apologize for taking up space. You have massively oversupplied yourself. You have flooded the market with you, and because the market is flooded, your stock is worth nothing. The psychology of coldness is fundamentally a deflation strategy. It is about restricting supply. When you pull back, when you stop offering your energy so freely, the market corrects. Suddenly your silence carries weight. Your compliment has value. Your presence becomes an event rather than a routine. Machiavelli understood that people are ungrateful, fickle, and greedy. Give them everything and they will believe they deserve it. They will treat your generosity not as a gift, but as a debt you owe them. Being cold means acknowledging this dark truth about human nature and adjusting your behavior accordingly. It starts with the eyes. The warm man scans every room with pleading eyes. His energy projects outward, begging for a signal in return. The cold man's energy projects inward. He is not looking for safety. He is assessing the terrain. He is not asking permission to exist. He is rooted in his own gravity. When you stop radiating that please love me energy, people become confused. Their subconscious detects an anomaly. Why is he not trying to impress me? Does he know something I do not? Is he above me? That doubt is the seed of respect. You must become comfortable with dead air. In conversation, the average person is terrified of silence. He fills it with nervous laughter, chatter, and self-deprecation. The cold strategist lets silence remain. He looks at you, he listens, and he does not rush to comfort you. In that silence, the other person's anxiety rises, and they begin seeking your approval. They start talking faster, revealing more, trying to win you over. You shifted the dynamic without saying a word. You became the prize simply by refusing to play the inflation game. Phase 2. The unmoved object. Non-reactivity. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, taught that people are disturbed not by things, but by their opinions about things. Most people are puppets. Strings are attached to their ego, their insecurities, their trauma. All the world has to do is pull a string and they dance. Someone insults you and you get angry. String pulled. Someone ignores you and you feel anxious. String pulled. Someone praises you and you become arrogant. String pulled. Being cold means cutting the strings. It is the state of the unmoved object. Imagine a rock at the edge of the ocean. Waves crash against it. They scream, they foam, they strike with millions of gallons of force. Does the rock scream back? Does the rock take offense? Does the rock try to negotiate with the ocean? No. It stands. It endures. And in the end, the water breaks against the rock and retreats back to sea. You must become the rock. When you react emotionally to disrespect, you are telling the other person that they have power over you, that their opinion of you is truer than your own opinion of yourself. That is the ultimate surrender. Machiavelli advised the prince never to show his true nature, never to let enemies know what hurts him, because once they know what wounds you, they know exactly where to strike. When someone tries to provoke you, do not simply ignore them. Look at them the way you would look at an exhibit behind glass. Observe their anger. Observe their attempt to manipulate you. Detach from the moment. Step back into the depths of your own mind and watch the film. Say to yourself, look at this person. Look at how desperately they want a reaction. Look at how much energy they are spending. When you observe them with clinical detachment, their power evaporates. You are not fighting them. You are studying them. And nothing, absolutely nothing, is colder than being studied. This is why silence is so aggressive. If someone shouts at you and you shout back, you have validated their anger. You enter the arena as equals. But if they shout and you wait 3 seconds, look at them calmly and ask simply, are you finished? You have destroyed them. You have communicated that their emotional storm did not even get you wet. You operate on a higher level of existence. This works in relationships, in business, and in war. The person who loses their composure first loses the negotiation. The person who cares most about the deal loses the leverage. You must practice the power pause. Before responding to anything, a message, an insult, a question, pause. Even 2 seconds. That pause tells your brain that you are in charge. You are not a reflex. You choose. In that pause, you kill the people pleaser. In that pause, you kill the frightened child. And the person who speaks after the pause is a sovereign. Phase 3. The law of zero resistance. Detachment. Physics teaches us about drag. The resistance that air or water applies to an object moving through it. The more attachment you carry, the more drag you create, and the slower you move through life. Most people are heavy. They are weighed down by the need for specific outcomes. I need this job. I need her to text me back. I need them to think I am smart. That neediness has a smell. It is a pheromone that signals weakness. Evolutionary biology is ruthless. It teaches us to avoid the needy because the needy drain resources. If you need me, you are a parasite. If you want me, but do not need me, you are a partner. The psychology of coldness is the art of zero resistance. It is the application of the central lesson of the Bhagavad Gita. You have the right to perform your duty, but you have no right to the fruits of your actions. This is the bitterest pill. You must act with full intensity, full focus, and full skill, while simultaneously not caring whether it works out. This is the sniper mindset. The sniper calculates wind, distance, breathing. He takes the perfect shot. The moment the bullet leaves the barrel, he does not shout at it. He does not pray for it. He packs up his gear. The result is physics. It is beyond his control. When you detach from the outcome, you become terrifyingly effective. Why? Because you no longer fear loss. The man who fears losing his woman will behave desperately, jealously, irrationally. He will lose her. The man who fears losing the deal will drop his price and look pathetic. He will lose the deal, but the cold man walks away. And the willingness to walk away is the only true power you have in any negotiation. When you walk into a room, say to yourself, I need nothing from these people. I do not need their money. I do not need their approval. I do not need their friendship. If you receive those things, good. If not, also good. This mindset creates a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you step back from your need, people feel the space open up. They feel the emptiness where your desperation used to be, and they are compelled to fill it. They begin pursuing you. They begin trying to impress you. This is the paradox of desire. We want what moves away from us. Think about a cat and a dog. The dog is warm. It jumps on you. It licks your face. It needs you. You love the dog, but you do not respect it. You control the dog. The cat is cold. It sits across the room. It observes you. It decides on its own terms. When it wants your touch, that is why you work to earn the cat's approval. You feel chosen. Become the cat. Stop chasing people. Stop showering them with compliments and endless willingness to please. Pull back, observe, and let them come to you. Phase 4. Integration of the shadow. Society tells you to hide your dark side, suppress your aggression, your selfishness, your capacity for violence. Be civilized, they say. But Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, warned that a man who has not passed through the fire of his own passions will never overcome them. Being cold does not mean being empty. It means being filled with dangerous qualities that are fully under your control. A harmless man is not necessarily a good man. A harmless man is simply weak. A good man is a dangerous man who keeps his inner monster under voluntary control. People feel this difference. If you are simply nice out of fear of conflict, you are a victim. But if you are calm, quiet, and composed, with something in your eyes that says, "I could destroy you, but I choose not to," that is magnetism. That is the cold factor. That is the velvet fist. How do you develop this? By engaging with your shadow, by acknowledging that you are capable of selfishness, of manipulation, of cruelty, not acting on these impulses, but integrating them. Machiavelli did not write for saints. He wrote for leaders who had to survive in a world of wolves. He argued that you must know how to be bad in order not to be destroyed by those who are. When you accept your own capacity for darkness, you stop being afraid of other people's darkness. You see the manipulator and you do not panic. You recognize the technique. You smile. You say to yourself, "I see what you are doing." This self-knowledge gives you a hardness that warm people lack. Warm people are often naive. They project their own goodness onto the world and they get crushed. The cold man sees the world as it is, not as he wishes it were. Acceptance is cold. Hope is warm. Hope says maybe she will change. Maybe my boss will finally notice me. Cold acceptance says, she disrespects me. That is a fact. I will act on facts. Kill hope. Embrace the cold clarity of the present moment. Phase 5. The language of the sovereign. Verbal minimalism. Robert Greene in the 48 Laws of Power. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Words are a leak. Every time you speak, you bleed power, information, intention. The insecure person is terrified of being misunderstood, so he explains himself endlessly. He writes paragraphs. He over-details. He builds verbal salads trying to manage your perception of him. The cold man speaks in headlines. He gives an instruction. He sets a boundary. He asks a question and then he goes silent. He does not justify his existence. No is a complete sentence. I am not interested is a complete thought. That does not work for me is a final decision. When you strip away the unnecessary from your speech, your words land like stones. Think of the most powerful authorities in your life or in history. Did they ramble? Did they over-explain? No, they spoke sparingly. This minimalism creates a projection screen. When you give people very little verbal data, their minds are forced to fill in the gaps, and they typically fill those gaps with qualities that make you seem smarter, deeper, and more powerful than you may actually be. Let them do that work. Stop trying to prove you are intelligent. The man who tries to prove his intelligence signals that he feels stupid. The man who knows he is intelligent has no interest in proving it to you. This is the essence of Machiavellian communication. Information is a weapon. Why would you give your plans to a potential enemy? Keep your cards close. When people ask what you are thinking, smile and say simply, "I am just listening." It drives them mad. It makes them work harder. It makes them hunger for your approval. Phase 6. The architecture of scarcity. Machiavelli knew that familiarity breeds contempt. If people see you every day, if they know exactly what you eat for breakfast, if they know your entire routine, you become ordinary. You become part of the furniture. To maintain power, you must strategically withdraw. This does not mean ignoring people to be toxic. It means reclaiming your own orbit. Most people live on other people's orbits. They are moons circling someone else's planet. They wait for the text. They wait for the plans. They wait for the invitation. The cold man is the sun. He has his own gravity, his own mission, his own trajectory. Sometimes his path crosses others, and that is warmth. That is connection. But then he continues moving. He pulls away. This withdrawal is critical. You must have a life that is more interesting to you than any relationship or any approval. If you have no mission, you will inevitably become needy. And you cannot fake this. If your life is empty, you will cling to people. You need a purpose that is cold, a purpose that does not care whether you are tired, a purpose that demands your attention more than a notification on a screen. When you are busy building something, a business, a body, a mind, you naturally become scarce. You do not need to pretend to be busy. You are busy. And that organic scarcity is the most attractive force on earth. People want to be part of something moving. They want to jump on the train. But if the train is sitting at the station begging people to board, nobody wants to ride it. If the train is moving and they have to run to catch it, they will sprint. Be the moving train. Now I know what you are thinking. Will I not be lonely? Will I not lose friends? People will think I am cold, arrogant, difficult. Yes, you will lose some people. But were they friends? Or were they energy vampires feeding on your endless supply of approval? You will be called arrogant. You will be called different. Good. Being different is the price of admission to the top 1%. Normalcy is the definition of mediocrity. Being universally liked is a slave's trophy. You are afraid of the cold because your whole life you have been huddled next to the fire of other people's approval. You think if you step away from the fire you will freeze, but I am here to tell you that you are made of fire. The warmth you are searching for is inside you, but you will never find it while you are begging sparks from everyone else. Phase 7. The glacier gaze, nonverbal dominance. The eyes are the only part of the human brain visible from outside the skull. When you look at someone, you are looking at their neural circuitry. Most people have searching eyes. They dart around, blink rapidly when nervous, look away when tension rises, glance down to submit. The cold man cultivates the glacier gaze. Not a menacing glare, not a fierce scowl, a dead calm, an unblinking focus that cuts through the social mask and into true intention. In negotiations, confrontations, or even moments of attraction, try this. When the other person is speaking, fix your gaze on one of their eyes, typically the left, and do not move. Do not nod excessively. Do not smile to comfort them. Simply receive the information. This triggers a cortisol spike in your counterpart. Their primitive brain registers you as a predator, not because you are attacking, but because you are still. In nature, the predator is motionless before the strike. The prey is the one that fidgets. By holding this gaze, you force them to be the first to look away. And whoever looks away first subconsciously acknowledges the other as dominant. The nuance is this: your face must be relaxed. If you look strained, you look like you are trying too hard. If your face is relaxed, even slightly bored, but your eyes are locked, you signal that you are comfortable in this tension. Are they? This is the Machiavellian duality of the lion and the fox. The eyes are the lion, direct and powerful. The face is the fox, unreadable and smooth. Use this carefully. If you do it constantly, you will look unhinged. But use it when boundaries are crossed. Use it when you name your price. Use it when someone tries to lie to your face. It functions like a truth serum. People unravel under the weight of a gaze that is not seeking their approval. Phase 8. The art of the soft no. Refusal is power. The amateur says yes because he wants to be liked. The beginner says no aggressively to prove he has boundaries. The master says no, so softly that you thank him for it. This is the highest move of the cold man. It is refusal wrapped in silk. When you decline a date, a business deal, a favor, you are demonstrating high value. You are communicating that your time is occupied. But if you do it with irritation, you reveal stress. You reveal that they bothered you. You gave them a reaction. The cold approach is indifferent politeness. I will not be able to do that. That is not for me. I am going to pass. Notice there are no explanations attached. No, I cannot because my dog is sick. Or because I am really busy right now. When you explain, you give them something to argue against. Oh, bring the dog along. Oh, we can do it next week. When you decline softly but firmly with no hooks, there is nothing to grab onto. It is a smooth ice wall and everything just slides off. Machiavelli taught that the prince must avoid hatred, even while inspiring fear. The soft no achieves this. You do not become the villain. You simply become inaccessible. And here is the dark psychological twist. People become obsessed with what they cannot have. By denying access to yourself, you become the forbidden fruit. You trigger the reactant's response. The moment you say no, their brain begins calculating how to turn it into a yes. You give them a puzzle to solve. That puzzle is you. While they spend their energy trying to figure you out, you spend your energy building toward your goals. You win the resource war. Phase 9. Strategic unpredictability. Machiavelli wrote that a predictable prince is easy to overthrow. If people know exactly how you will react, they can set traps for you. If they know flattery works on you, they will flatter you. If they know insults provoke you, they will insult you. Being cold means being an algorithm with a glitch. When they expect you to be angry, be calm. When they expect excitement, be indifferent. When they expect you to turn left, turn right. This keeps people on edge. It creates a low-grade anxiety in those around you. They have to pay close attention to you. In relationships, this prevents the slow death spiral of boredom. If you are always the same, passion fades. But if you are slightly dangerous, slightly mysterious, dopamine keeps flowing. Do not be chaotic. Chaos is weakness. Be calculatedly unpredictable. You normally respond to messages within an hour, and then suddenly disappear for 24 hours without explanation. When you return, act as if nothing happened. Hey, how are things? Their mind races. Where was he? Who was he with? Is he losing interest? You have triggered their imagination, and as Robert Greene says, the imagination is the most powerful tool in the game of seduction. You make them think about you, and the more they think about you, the more they invest in you. The sunk cost fallacy kicks in. I have spent so much time thinking about him. He must matter. You hacked their cognitive bias simply by breaking your pattern. Phase 10. The power of walking away. There is no negotiating tactic, no seduction technique, no power move stronger than the ability to turn your back and leave. This is the nuclear option of cold thinking. Most people are terrified of endings. They stay in bad jobs, bad relationships, and bad deals because they fear the void. They fear starting over. The cold-blooded man's friends with the void. He knows there are 8 billion people on this planet. He knows money is abundant. He knows opportunity is everywhere. He operates from an abundance mindset even when he is broke, because he knows his value is internal, not external. When you are willing to walk away, you hold all the cards. You can demand the highest price. You can demand better treatment, because the other side can feel that you are not bluffing. Have you ever tried to sell something to someone who genuinely did not want to buy it? It is impossible. You have to drop the price. You have to beg. Be the person who does not need to buy. In every interaction, ask yourself, am I willing to lose this? If the answer is no, you have already lost. You are a hostage. If the answer is yes, you are free. And freedom, true, cold, detached freedom, is the most powerful force of attraction in existence. People want to be near the free man because they want to catch his freedom. They want to know what it feels like not to be a slave to fear. Phase 11, the sanctuary of solitude. To maintain this temperature, you need a freezer. You need a place where you recharge. You cannot remain cold if you are constantly overstimulated by social media, noise, and crowds. You will burn out. You will become irritable rather than composed. You need solitude. Machiavelli was exiled from Florence. He lost his position, his status, his money. He was forced to live on a farm. And what did he do? He put on his finest court clothes, entered his study, and wrote The Prince. He communed with the ancients. He sharpened his mind. He used isolation to create a legacy that has lasted 500 years. You must build your own sanctuary, a time of day or a room in your home where no one enters, no phone, no external influence. In that silence, you reconnect with your inner core. You remind yourself who you are. You wash off the programming of the crowd. If you are constantly connected, you are constantly being programmed. The news tells you what to fear. Social media tells you what to desire. Friends tell you what to think. Solitude is the deprogramming chamber. It is the place where you cool your engines. It is the place where you analyze the data of your life without the emotion of the current moment. Why did I react that way? Is this person truly good for me? Am I moving in the right direction? These answers come only in cold silence. They never come in the noise. If you cannot be alone, you cannot be strong. A man who needs company is a man running from himself. And if you are running from yourself, why would anyone run toward you? Stop. Turn around. Look into the void. And realize the void is not empty. It is a mirror. Phase 12. The final transformation. Becoming the mirror. When you have mastered these phases, something strange happens. You become a mirror for others. Because you are no longer projecting your own neuroses, you reflect their own back to them. When an angry man meets a cold man, he sees his own ugliness reflected in the other's calm. It drives them mad or makes them ashamed. When a needy person meets a cold person, they feel the emptiness of their own soul. When a powerful person meets a cold person, they recognize an equal. They feel respect. You become a Rorschach test for everyone around you. You reveal people's true nature to themselves. This is the ultimate position of power. You are the still center around which the chaos spins. You are not cold because you lack fire. You are cold because you have mastered the fire. You focused it into a laser instead of letting it burn your house down. Let me be clear, I am not telling you to become a robot. I am not telling you to never love, never laugh, never enjoy the sun. I am telling you to stop being a slave to heat. I am telling you that you have the ability to choose your temperature. There is a time to be warm, with your children, with those who have proven themselves, with the person who has earned your loyalty through years of being tested. But that warmth only has meaning because you are capable of being cold. If you are warm with everyone, your warmth is worthless. It is just your default setting. You are a radiator that cannot switch off. But if you are a glacier and you choose to thaw, just slightly, for one person, that is a gift. That is a privilege that feels like sunlight breaking through a winter sky. By mastering the cold, you make your warmth valuable again. You restore your own economy. The path I have laid out is not easy. It cuts against your biological nature. We are social primates. We want to be part of the tribe. Choosing coldness means choosing the path of the independent. The man who walks alone, not because he has to, but because he prefers the view. Look at your life right now. Look at the messages you are desperate to send. Look at the people you are desperate to please. Look at the anxiety eating through your stomach. Is it worth it? Or are you ready to turn down the thermostat? Are you ready to kill the need? Are you ready to become the unmoved object? The world is loud. Be silent. The world is hot. Be cold. The world is chaotic. Be order.